Do these 5 things as soon as you get paid to build wealth in the UK and get ahead of the majority of Brits. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Matt. I'm an economics graduate who now works in London, and on this channel we talk about money and everything to do with personal finance and investing. Today we're going to be talking about the perfect payday routine and how you can manage your money effectively every single payday. Without further ado, let's dive straight into step number 1. This is going to be checking your payslip. Now I want you to do this every single month without fail. Don't just let the money land in your bank account. Make sure you download that payslip from payroll or your HR system to check you are getting paid. This is the single most important thing because you need to make sure you are getting paid the right amount of money for the work you are doing. The biggest thing to check on here is the tax code, as this really does affect how much you get in your bank account every single month. Now the most common tax code for the tax year 2024-2025 is 1257L for people with one job. If you take the number part of that and times it by 10, you get the tax-free allowance for that year, which is 12,570 for that tax code. And the letter L just means they're getting the standard tax-free allowance. Other amounts and other letters mean different things. I'm going to put a link down in the description to the government website where you can check what the different letters and numbers mean. If you're not happy with your tax code, either talk to payroll or HMRC, but if you are happy with the tax code, you think it's correct and what it should be, then let's move on to the next part of checking your payslip, which is looking at your gross pay. If you're on a salary, it should be your salary divided by 12, or if you're paid hourly, make sure the hours and the rate here is correct. Afterwards, let's look at the deductions. So you might have various deductions on here ranging from income tax, national insurance, pension, student loan, salary sacrifice if you buy a lease a car or a season ticket for a train from there. Make sure all the deductions there you are expecting. So did you have a student loan? If you don't have a student loan and you have a deduction there for a student loan, then that's something you need to query. And then finally on the payslip, just check the net pay. So just do a quick mental sum or put it in an Excel or a calculator to make sure the gross pay minus the deductions equals the net pay. And also check that the net pay is the amount that you get in your bank account, just in case there's any mistakes. Moving on to step number 2, and that is to check the expenses from last month. So let's say you get paid in the last few days of the month or the first day of the next month. Print out or go through last month's bank statements online and categorize your spending. Essentially what you're doing here is a little budget. If you don't do budgeting, then I'd highly recommend you start budgeting on tracking your expenses as well. Putting them into categories just makes it easier to see that travel was this that month, so I'm going to estimate it to be this month. If you drive the same amount to work each day, etc., you can then make an educated guess on how much you're going to have to pay for petrol. Once you've written down all your expenses from last month, have a think. Has anything changed? Have you got a new car loan? Has there been any changes to your finances? For example, are you now expecting a baby or planning for a wedding? Have you recently got any high interest debt? This might mean you need to change the allocations of where you send your money and the percentages of where your money goes. Now, moving on to step number 3, and that's to review any leftover cash for the month. Maybe it was a particular quieter month, you didn't go out as much, you didn't see as many friends and family, so you've got maybe £100 or £200 left in that account. What do you want to do with that money? What is your priority? And that's completely going to be up to you. Do you want to put that towards a holiday fund? Do you want to put it towards a wedding fund? Do you want to put it towards paying off a bit more of your car loan? That is completely up to you. However, if you see there is leftover cash every single month or for a few months in a row, then you might want to adjust your allocations to the remaining steps so that money is being put to good use every month. Rather than being left over at the end, maybe you're allocating it to savings or investing at the beginning of the month. Step number 4. Now, if back in step 2, you checked your expenses and nothing's really changed, then you shouldn't need to do anything to these steps. You should just be reviewing in these stages and for your peace of mind and not adjusting anything. However, if circumstances have changed, then this is where you're going to need to make the edits. So here you're going to review your standing orders. So you probably should have one standing order for your needs, where your money is going to a separate bank account, where it's going to pay your bills and your rent. So personally for me, that goes towards a joint account with my girlfriend, which pays all of our joint needs. And having a standing order every month makes it nice and easy. Automation is the key here. I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to make sure for peace of mind that on the first of the month, X amount of money is going to come out of my bank account and go to the joint account. So I know my half of the bills is being paid. Step 4B, if you like, is to review the standing order of the amount going to your savings account. So personally for me, this is making sure it's going to my emergency fund and then my other savings pots. An emergency fund, if you're not aware, is a pot of money about 3 to 6 months of living costs. If something goes wrong, like you lose your job, the boiler breaks, your car breaks down, that is a situation where you need money. It's not for a house or for buying those latest shoes, for example. However, once you've maybe hit that goal, maybe you've got 3 or 6 months worth of expenses in that emergency fund and you don't want to keep topping it up, then what do you want to do with the rest of the money going to savings? Again, is it a holiday fund, a wedding fund, etc.? So again, I'm just reviewing those standing orders to make sure they're going to go out as well on the first of the month. And then finally moving on to step 4C, which is to review the standing order going to my investment account. So personally for me, I use InvestEngine for my stocks and shares ISA, where I invest monthly into low cost index funds. Now back on step 3, if there was any remaining cash every single month, and let's say I saw there was £100 each month for the last couple of months, can I increase my investments here? If I've got £100 left over every month and I don't need more in my emergency fund, or I don't have any high interest debt, then do I want to increase my investment pot by £50 or £100 every single month? So here I can adapt that standing order there. When it comes to saving or investing, the best thing to keep you on track is automation, by having these standing orders go out on the first or whatever date you want every single month, and also keep it consistent. And finally, moving on to step number 5, and that is to update your net worth. You can do this using the free tracker I've got in the link in the description, completely free. Just put your email and it gets sent straight over to you as a Google Sheet. Just make sure you save a copy in your Google Drive and then you can adjust it accordingly to your situation. For people that don't know, net worth is basically just how much money you have to your name. To work this out, basically you add up all your assets. So that's basically all the money in the bank account. You've got all your savings, investments, things like your car valuation, all that kind of stuff. And you take away what's called your liabilities. So do you have any credit card debt, high interest debt, car payments, etc. Once you take the liabilities away from the assets, you get your net worth. In the tracker down in the description, there's also a tab for a graph to show your growth month on month. It's very strange. Since I've started tracking it, it's just naturally sort of increased every single month. Also maybe psychologically, right? Because I want it to increase every single month. So maybe I'm a bit more frugal when it comes to my spending so that I can see my net worth grow every single month. And there we have it. Those are the 5 things to do every single payday to help you grow your money and your wealth and get you ahead of the average Brit. If you did like this content, please give it a like. Comment down below if you do any of these things. Subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in my next video.